The Associated Press is reporting that the White House deliberately altered the record, despite the White House Stenography Office's concern. Our chief White House correspondent, James Rosen, has been following the story. He joins us live from the North Lawn with details. James, good morning.
Emma and Sean, good morning to you. The Associated Press broke a story overnight that is citing internal White House emails, and this entire affair is now a matter of congressional investigation as well. Here are the original comments from President Biden that started all the trouble. He was speaking to a group of Latino voters and activists on Tuesday night, and Mr. Biden was trying to respond to a racist riff on Puerto Rico that had been served up on Sunday night by the comedian who opened up the Madison Square Garden rally for former President Trump.
The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters. His demonization of Latinos is unconscionable, and it's un-American. It's totally contrary to everything we've done, everything we've been.
According to internal documents obtained by the Associated Press, the original transcription of those remarks by the official White House stenographers unit looked like this, with supporters rendered as a plural, meaning the trained stenographers believed Mr. Biden had indeed insulted all those who intend to vote for Mr. Trump or who have done so already. When the official document went out, however, the AP reports that over the stenographer's objections, the transcript rendered supporters as singular with the apostrophe, a change meant to protect the president by suggesting he was only referring to the one supporter, the comedian. The AP, citing internal emails, reports the change was made after the White House press office, which releases these transcripts, quote, conferred with the president. The emails also appear to show the stenography office pushed back, complaining of a, quote, breach of protocol and spoliation of transcript integrity. House Republican leaders Elise Stefanik of New York, the GOP conference chair, and Jim Comer of Kentucky, chair of the Oversight Committee, have now written to the White House counsel, Ed Siskel. In a two-page letter sent over yesterday, the lawmakers cite the Presidential Records Act, the same law that former President Trump was accused of violating in the now dismissed documents case in Florida, to suggest that improper editing of this transcript could constitute a violation of that 1978 law. White House staff cannot rewrite the words of the President of the United States to be more politically on message, the pair of GOP lawmakers wrote Siskel, adding, "We write to demand the White House retain and preserve all documents and internal communications regarding President Biden's statement and the release of the inaccurate transcript."
You have a president who wanted to make sure what he said was not taken out of context and took that extra step to clarify. I think that tells you where the president is. He took the extra step to clarify. And, you know, you don't see that from many elected officials. You certainly didn't see that from the former president.
President Biden has one event on his public schedule today, and it is taking place, you guessed it, in Philadelphia. And there the president will be touting his administration's successes on behalf of, you guessed it, labor unions. And this is being billed as, you guessed it, an official, not a campaign event, on this final Friday before the balloting begins on Tuesday night. Back to you guys.
Well, I got a lot right on your quiz, I think. I did guess those. James, I had a question for you in regards to the altered record of the garbage comments. The stenographer, as reported by the Associated Press, put out a concern about this. Is there a consequence for the White House if changes were made there? We know several officials have spoke out and cited violations of the Presidential Records Act. But also, as you well know, you've been in that briefing room. The second part of the question for Karine Jean-Pierre, she obviously has come out and defended this and said that this is taken out of context. I don't envy the White House press secretary in her position in that, but is there a consequence versus the transcript versus what is said there behind the podium?
Any consequence, Sean, would depend on the results of the investigations that will now ensue. We have reason to believe there's going to be a congressional investigation based on that letter from the two Republican members of the House. It's also possible this will be subject to internal investigation by the Chief of Staff here at the White House and perhaps receive attention from outside authorities as well.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.